Your bank isn't treating you unfairly by accident. It's doing it on purpose. Have you ever noticed how wealthy people never seem to pay fees, while regular people get slammed with charges for the smallest mistakes? Your balance drops a little too low. Fee. Your paycheck clears a few hours late. Fee. You swipe your card for lunch at the wrong time. Fee. Meanwhile, millionaires get personal bankers, zero fees, and cheap loans to buy boats. Same bank, same building, completely different rules. Today, I'm breaking down the three financial tiers banks secretly operate on, how each one works, and why the system is engineered to keep most people stuck exactly where they are. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. A massive percentage of bank profits don't come from rich customers. They come from people who are barely getting by. In fact, a tiny group of customers generates the vast majority of overdraft fee revenue. We're talking billions of dollars every year, extracted almost entirely from people who can't afford it. That's not customer service, that's targeted monetization. Now, let's break down the tiers. Tier 1, under $30,000 net worth, the survival tier. This is where banks make the most money per customer. And yes, that sounds backwards, because it is. In this tier, one small mistake can spiral into chaos. The average overdraft isn't caused by some reckless shopping spree. It's triggered by a purchase under $25. You bought food. Your paycheck hadn't cleared yet. The bank charged you hundreds in fees. When you calculate the real interest rate on that short-term loan, it's not 20%. It's not 200%. It's 5 digits, numbers so extreme they'd make loan sharks blush. And overdraft fees are just the beginning. This tier gets pushed toward financial products designed to trap, not help. Payday loans with interest rates that quietly multiply debt. Auto loans with brutal APRs because of credit score penalties. Store credit cards that promise discounts today and punish you tomorrow. Miss one payment, and suddenly interest is added retroactively, like a financial ambush. Even being unbanked comes with a cost. Check cashing fees, prepaid card fees, money orders. Over decades, those small charges quietly destroy 6 figures of potential wealth. You're paying a poverty tax just to exist inside the system. Tier 2, $30,000 to $1 million net worth, the illusion tier. This is where banks start acting nicer. You get access to programs with names like Preferred, Platinum, or Priority. It feels like progress, and compared to Tier 1, it is. But look closer. Most of the perks are cosmetic. Slightly better rewards, tiny rate reductions, dedicated bankers who still follow scripts. And here's the trick nobody explains. To qualify, you often have to keep large amounts of cash sitting in accounts that earn almost nothing. That money could be growing elsewhere. Instead, it's parked, quietly subsidizing the bank. In many cases, the rewards you earn don't even outweigh the interest you're giving up. And credit card rewards? They're not free money. They're a wealth transfer. People with excellent credit earn the rewards. People with weaker credit pay higher interest to fund them. Same card, different outcomes. This tier feels like winning, but it's mostly just less losing. Tier 3, $1 million plus net worth, the real game. This is where banking changes completely. Not better customer service, a different rulebook. At this level, fees disappear, interest rates drop, and access opens up. The wealthy don't sell assets to fund their lifestyle, they borrow against them. Stocks, portfolios, real estate. They use their wealth as collateral and get cash at rates most people will never see. No selling, no capital gains taxes, no disruption. This enables a strategy most people never hear about until it's too late. Assets grow, loans fund living expenses, taxes are delayed, sometimes permanently. And when wealth is passed down, decades of gains can vanish from the tax bill entirely. This isn't cheating, it's how the system was built. On top of that, the richest tier gets access to investments the public can't touch. Private companies, early deals, exclusive funds. By the time irregular investors are allowed in, most of the growth is already gone. Who ends up in each tier? Here's the part that makes this more than just about money. Access to these tiers isn't evenly distributed. Historical inequality determines where people start and where they're likely to stay. The result is predictable. Different groups experience entirely different banking systems even with similar incomes. Progress can happen on paper while the real dollar gap continues to widen. The tiers don't just manage money, they shape who gets to build wealth and who gets drained by fees. The lifetime math. Imagine two people earning the same income. One has a small emergency cushion and decent credit. The other doesn't. Over time, the second person pays thousands more every year in fees, interest, and penalties. Not because they're irresponsible, because the system charges them more for being vulnerable. Over decades, that gap compounds into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Same income, different tier, completely different outcome. What can you do? You can't change the system overnight, but you can stop playing it blindly. Know the thresholds that unlock real benefits. Compare perks to opportunity costs. Use credit unions when possible. Avoid predatory lending at all costs. Most importantly, build a cushion. Even a small one changes everything. It breaks the fee cycle. It restores leverage. It moves you out of the most expensive tier in the system. The banking world has 3 levels. Once you see them, you can't unsee them. And once you understand the math, you can start climbing intentionally. If this breakdown opened your eyes, subscribe. This channel exists to expose how money really works and how to use that knowledge to your advantage. I'll see you in the next one.